It's another delicious day here in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen, and today we're making another summer treat. Thanks to Joe at the Resting Star. I mean, why stop at one and just do one for the kids? While the kids will probably like this one's more for the grown-ups because grown-ups deserve treats too, right? So I'm gonna just dive right on in. Simple ingredients, strawberries, cane sugar, more strawberries. This is chocolate mint. Have you ever smelled chocolate mint? It smells like chocolate. That's from my garden, courtesy of my mom who gave me that plant. Cream cheese and heavy cream. That's it. So what I want to do first is get my strawberries in my blender, and I want to puree them, which means I want to put this on so I don't get splattered with strawberries. And away we go. Done. Didn't even need my damper tool this time. So I'm going to take this off and get rid of this. And I want to simmer these so that they reduce down to half with 2 tablespoons of sugar. I have 2 different, this is a 1/4 cup and this is 2 tablespoons. And if you didn't know, 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup. I want to make sure I get all of this in there. So I'm going to just scrape that out and then I'll use this to stir as I go. Okay, and that was, I didn't even say it, that was 3/4 pound of the strawberries. My recipe says a little more than a pound, and it's so that you can leave room for a strawberry or 2 that has gone bad. You just never know what you're gonna get in your container. You know, maybe you wanna snack on a strawberry while you make this. You'll probably use about a pound total, but there's almost nothing worse than getting started on your recipe and then finding out that some of your ingredients aren't of good enough quality to actually make it when it comes to produce like this. Okay, so we're gonna stir in our sugar. It's already come to a simmer. It doesn't take long with these cast iron pans and this induction cooktop. So what I want it to do is reduce down to about half, okay? And while that goes, we're gonna get our cream cheese mixture going. So I'm gonna rinse this off and get my mixer out. Okay, I have my whisk attachment, my bowl, and I'm gonna add in my sugar and my cream cheese. And that is softened to room temperature. It's been out for quite a while, although here, given how humid it is, might not have needed to sit out that long. I'm gonna lock this in place, and what I wanna do is get this to be smooth and creamy and the sugar dissolved in there. So I'm going to put it on stir and let it go for a minute or 2. And then I'm going to keep an eye on this and keep stirring it. So here we go. Okay, this is, I'm going to show you. Let me see. This is nice and creamy, except for this little part right there that I'm going to knock down. I'm going to mix it up a little bit more once this is cooled, so I'm not too concerned about that little chunk. I'm going to set this aside. And we're gonna prep our little cups here. So I have 6 cups, dessert cups, and 6 strawberries to top it with. And I want to put some diced strawberries in the bottom of my cups instead of a crust, like a graham cracker crust or a cookie crust, whatever. I'm gonna use strawberries, so it's a little bit lighter, but still has some texture at the bottom that you can dig for, save for last, however you want to do it. But I just want to cover the bottom a little bit. I don't want a big pile of it, so I'm going to cut 1 strawberry at a time, and then when I'm ready for another one, that's all I want, right there. Okay, so I'm just going to add those in here to each cup. And the setup to make this is pretty quick. You need to let it sit in the fridge for a couple of hours to firm up. So you do need to make this a little bit ahead of time at least. Joe, if you're watching this, if you didn't already with the other video, put a link to your channel down below since you're the one that requested this. I say go for it. And then you can go to the other video, the banana dream. Banana ice cream, not ice cream. Okay, that's good. So I am done with those strawberries. I'm gonna clean this up and stir this a little bit more and then go back to my cream. All right, I'm gonna give this another stir and then we'll start adding the cream. So what we wanna do is just drizzle this in. This is our heavy cream. We're gonna drizzle it in and it should expand similar to what when you're making whipped cream. It just won't be as much because of the heaviness of the. I want to take a quick moment and scrape down my sides because of the stuff on the sides. Because I'm only doing one block of cream cheese, it's not as much in the bowl, and so the sides tend to not get combined if you don't scrape them up. Okay, and on we go. Turned it up to a 6. Adding the rest of the whipping cream. And I'm gonna let that go for just a minute or two. Okay, I'm just gonna scoop this here. What I need to do, I've turned this off. This has thickened. I'm gonna pour it into my measuring cup and put it in the fridge to cool. Oh, this pan is always so heavy. Okay, and you want this to cool before you pour it in so it doesn't cook the cream cheese. Okay, I want to show you the consistency with this now. So it's a little bit more whipped. See? Trying to get enough. Someday I'm going to get a second camera that points downwards so that you guys can see into my bowls and into my pans. I'm just not there yet. I have to, I'm monetized, but I make literal pennies a day at this point, and I'm grateful for it. And thank you all for your support. But until I'm making a little bit more, I can't invest in a second camera is my point for that. So I'm looking forward to that day and showing you guys more and more of what I do and what I learn. And hopefully I'll get more engagement from all you fine folks with your favorite recipes, any cooking tips you have. Make this a community. This doesn't need to be me talking at you. Please talk with me. Give me any tips that you have. I'm happy to hear them. So, okay, I'm going to whip this for another minute or two. And then I'm gonna turn it off and set it aside, and we're gonna wait for my strawberry mixture to cool off, and then we'll add it in and move on to the next step. Here we go. Okay, I put this in the fridge. It is cool. It doesn't have to be refrigerator cold, but it does need to be cooled off. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can pour it in and completely mix it. You can pour it in for a swirl effect. It really just depends on what you're looking for. So here we go. I'm just gonna get it in there. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix it. We've already whipped it, so I don't want to whip it anymore, but you can go for that swirl, so there's a little separation of color, or you can go for the whole color. So this would kind of be the swirl, okay, or you could keep going. So I'm just going to carefully, we want to fill our cups basically to the rim. And I don't know that I'll be able to fill all 6 cups. This was, these cups are a little bigger. So what I'm gonna do is go that much and then top them off if I have enough. Because I wanna make sure everybody that comes gets a dessert. If you find that situation where your cups are bigger and you don't have enough mixture, what you can do is fill them 3/4 full and then make some whipped topping with heavy cream and fill the rest of it before you serve it with the heavy cream. And I believe I have a video on how to make that too, so I can put that down below. Okay, so this will sit in the fridge until it completely solidifies. I would say give it a good 4 hours, okay? So then after 4 hours, you can come back and add the whipped cream if that's what you're gonna do. You can garnish them now or you can wait. As you've seen, I have my chocolate mint and things ready to go, but I think I'm gonna let these solidify and then I'll decide if I'm gonna add whipped cream. I think it's gonna be an in the moment decision. Okay, so I'm gonna turn everything off and I will come back when these are ready to be garnished and served, and I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. See you Okay, our cheesecake cups have settled and set. All I need to do now is garnish them. So the question is, do I slice it and stick it on the rim? Do I sit it inside somehow? Really? Entirely up to you. How do you want it to look? That's what you should do. Personally, I am just going to put it right on top here in the corners of each cup so that they look like this. And I think the swirl option turned out very nice. We're just placing the strawberries there, and then I'm just going to pull off one of the chocolate mint leaves and kind of poke it right in the middle in front of the strawberry so that it just gives a nice, lovely presentation like that. Now it's kind of brown. Let's not use that one. There we go. Now comes the moment where we must see how we did. Whoop. They're a little creamier. That's delicious. It is fruity, yet you can still taste the cheesecake part of it. It's fresh, light, and delicious. Thanks for joining me here today in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen. From my kitchen to yours, let's make food from food.
That's one boy.